Before we begin today's adventure, let's sprinkle a little magic together. Tap subscribe, give a like, and share these stories so the wonder.
Weaker, helpless. His parents tried everything. Stories, scolding, gentle advice. She snapped, she shoved him, fed up with it. She snapped, she shoved him, fed up with his tricks, and Joe fell to the floor, crying loudly, as he always did, pretending to be the victim. Grandmother rushed in. "What happened?" Joe pointed at his sister. "She pushed me," he said, fake tears glistening in his eyes. Grandma sighed, believing his act. Grandmother believed him. Reha was scolded though she had done no wrong. Reha, quiet and gentle, didn't argue, but Joe wasn't done. He teased Reha one more time just for spite, then ran straight out the door. Reha went and told their mother the truth. He hit the street. Right there, he saw a mother cat with 2 small kittens. Joe smiled a cold, cruel smile. The wind itself seemed heavy, as if the very air was charged with tension. He threw stones. Thud, thud! The mother cat screamed in terror. The kittens ran to hide. Joe laughed, proud of the fear he caused. He missed the flicker in the animal's eyes, the warning. Joe ran out again, hungry for more thrills. But this time, the world was ready. Fate had been watching quietly, patiently waiting for the moment to teach him a lesson he would never forget. The street was empty, the air unusually still. Even the wind seemed to pause, as if holding its breath. Then vroom! A motorbike roared out of nowhere, slicing through the silence like lightning. Before Joe could move, crash! The world spun. The ground rushed up to meet him. Pain exploded through his hands and knees. The laughter that once filled the street was replaced by a sharp, frightened cry. For the first time, Joe didn't feel clever or brave. He felt small, scared, and deeply alone. Neighbors quickly rushed Joe to the hospital. The news was bad. The doctor told his parents. Joe had a serious fracture in his leg. He couldn't walk for 1 whole month. Joe was truly broken physically and finally emotionally. He felt a deeper pain than the bone, guilt. He remembered the screaming cat. A voice hammered in his mind. It comes back. Later that night, the hospital room was quiet. Joe's father stood nearby. The doctor finished the bandage. Tears welled in Joe's eyes. He turned to his mom. His voice was shaky. "Mom!" he whispered. The sound was thin. "I was wrong today. I hurt a cat and her kittens." Joe looked at his leg. "Maybe this is my punishment." In that moment, Joe felt a huge weight. He felt his actions. He felt true regret. His mother stroked his hair, very gently. "Son, God is merciful. He forgives those who truly repent. If you've learned your lesson, promise you'll never hurt anyone again." Joe nodded, tears streaming down his cheeks. "I promise, Mama." From that day on, the mischief in Joe's eyes faded, replaced by kindness. He fed stray cats, helped his neighbors, protected every creature he once scared. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Joe saw the mother cat again. She paused at the gate, her kittens beside her, and for a moment their eyes met. No fear, no anger, only forgiveness. Then they walked away, leaving behind a boy, forever changed. Moral: every act of cruelty carries a shadow, but kindness brings light, and forgiveness makes it shine forever.
And so our story ends. If you enjoyed this tale, please give it a thumbs up, and for more stories, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, may your dreams be full of adventure. Welcome, dear dreamers, to the world of stories. A place where kings sail the seas, mice befriend lions, and every page sparkles with magic. Before we begin today's adventure, let's sprinkle a little magic together. Tap subscribe, give a like, and share these stories so the wonder never ends.
Greenfield Academy, a place of laughter, chatter, and youthful energy. But in one classroom, a quiet storm was brewing. Miss Line, the school's gentle psychology teacher, tried to maintain order, her voice soft yet firm. Yet, the students' noise filled the air like a restless wind. That afternoon, the headmaster passed by. His gaze swept the room. Sharp and commanding. He paused, then called Miss Line into the corridor. A brief conversation later, he returned to the class. His message was clear. Every student will apologize to Miss Line, both in words and in writing. And from this day on, they will respect her lesson. One by one, the students approached her, shy and hesitant, offering their apologies. Smiles, murmurs, bows, they all took their turn. But one boy remained seated. Adam. Adam is a kind, shy boy who isn't very good at school. He got into the school thanks to his father's help, and he carries inner insecurity, even though no one openly treats him badly. This helps explain why he struggles with things like apologizing. He's naturally self-conscious and cautious. That evening, at home, his mother noticed his silence. "What happened at school today, Adam?" she asked. Adam hesitated, then explained the apology task and that he had not apologized. His mother's eyes softened. She placed a hand on his head. "Adam, I thought you would be the first to apologize." He looked up, puzzled. "Why? I wasn't the one making noise. Why should I apologize?" She smiled gently. "Apologizing is an act of courage. It takes more strength to bow your head than to raise your fist." Adam frowned, struggling to understand. "But I felt embarrassed. I didn't know what to say." "Do you remember asking why we left our village?" she asked. "It was a paradise once, golden fields, strong oxen. But everything changed, all because your father refused to apologize. Years ago, their fields thrived. Robert worked alongside 2 strong oxen, proud of his harvest. But one day, neighbors' goats invaded the fields, destroying the crops. The neighbor immediately apologized and offered to compensate for the damage. But in a flash of anger, Robert shoved him aside, unintentionally humiliating the man in front of the entire village. A council of elders ruled Robert must apologize or face a penalty. But his stubborn pride refused. The council took their 2 oxen, their only livelihood. Poverty followed, forcing the family to leave their village and start anew in the city. Burdened by unspoken apologies, "Those who learn to apologize," she whispered, "they succeed. Apology is not weakness, it is your greatest strength. Be brave, Adam. Use it wisely." That night, Adam slept peacefully. And when morning came, something had changed. A quiet confidence gleamed in his eyes. Adam walked to school with newfound courage. The city, once cold and unfamiliar, now felt alive, full of people who forgave, shared, and apologized freely. "Miss Line, I'm sorry. I was too embarrassed yesterday. You guide me, and I couldn't let you down. I bought these sweets with my own savings." As a token of my apology. Miss Lyne's eyes softened. A gentle smile spread across her face as she took the sweets. Oh, my favorite! Let's share them with the class. From that day, Adam stood taller. His classmates no longer saw a quiet, awkward boy, they saw courage. When Robert heard the story, pride and tears filled his eyes. What I could not do, my son has done, he said. Holding Adam close, Adam met his father's gaze. This summer, father, you must apologize. Not for the oxen, but for the burden we've carried all these years. Robert nodded, voice trembling. Yes, it's time to lift this weight. True bravery isn't pride or anger, it's humility. An apology isn't weakness, it's a power that heals hearts and changes lives.
And so our story ends. If you enjoyed this tale, please give it a thumbs up, and for more stories, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, may your dreams be full of adventure. Welcome, dear dreamers, to the world of stories, a place where kings sail the seas, mice befriend lions, and every page sparkles with magic. Before we begin today's adventure, let's sprinkle a little magic together. Tap subscribe, give a like, and share these stories so the wonder never ends.
Willow the Mouse lived with his big brother, Max, in a cozy velvet hole tucked inside a bedroom wall. It was the safest, warmest place in the whole house. Max was cheerful, famous for his thunderous snoring, and every night, Willow would wake up. The snowstorms rolled through the room like distant thunder, shaking his bed. That's it, he whispered, rubbing his eyes. I am grown. I need a quiet place, a hole for dreams of cheese. He packed one tiny crumb of cheddar, kissed his sleeping brother's nose, and whispered his goodbye. Tonight, he declared, I start my adventure. He left the wall. The bedroom floor was a vast carpet ocean. Room was silent but full of danger. This was a land of giants. He scurried past a fuzzy bear that loomed like a great mountain. He dodged a wooden soldier and a metal car that shone in the fading light. He was an explorer now. He was free. He found a dark crack near the dresser. Perfect, he thought, sinking down to rest. But just as his eyes closed, the alarm clock shouted the wake-up call, shaking the air with its sound. Willow squeaked, "Nope, too noisy," and off he ran again, his little tail a flash of courage. He found a hole. It was hidden behind the biggest, softest sofa he had ever seen. Perfect, he thought, quiet and deep. Willow made a bed of sofa fluff. It was feathery soft. He closed his eyes, but suddenly the TV erupted with voices and music. Feet stomped, a dog barked, and laughter echoed. Willow's whiskers twitched. Humans are never quiet, are they? He dashed away, seeking a calmer corner of the house. Next, Willow found a mouse hole in the kitchen, tucked behind a cold, humming fridge. The smell of cheese and butter wrapped around him like a dream. Oh, heaven. This is my dream home, he sighed. He made a new, temporary bed from a paper towel. He closed his eyes, almost asleep, but then, oh no! Now the man was washing dishes. The water gushed like a river in a cave. Pots and pans crashed like tiny cymbals. This wasn't quiet. This was chaos. Willow sighed. A tiny sound of defeat. He would have to keep climbing. He darted out, narrowly avoiding a rolling spoon. Up the great carpeted stairs Willow climbed, his paws tired. He reached the bathroom. It was dark and silent. He squeezed behind a basket of towels and cotton balls. Quiet. Soft. Perfect, he murmured. curling into a ball. Finally, peace. He was so sleepy. He curled up, took a deep breath, and let it out slowly. But suddenly, the shower roared to life. Steam hissed, water pounded, and the human's voice echoed above it all. Poor Willow's fur stood on end. He gave up. He was utterly tired. There was no quiet hole in this big, noisy house. Maybe peace wasn't waiting in new places. Willow trudged back to the bedroom. It was tidy and still. He didn't have to climb over a single toy. He reached the familiar wall. He saw the cozy light in his old hole. It felt warm and welcoming. It felt like home. Max stirred awake. "You're back!" Willow smiled, a sleepy smile. "I missed home." "And you're snoring," Max chuckled, handing him a tiny piece of crunchy cheese. "Welcome home, little explorer." Willow snuggled deep into his wool bed, feeling the soft blanket. He felt safe. Then he heard it. The sound that started his whole journey. Max's snoring. But now, after the boom of the TV, the clang of the pots, and the roar of the shower, the snore was different. It wasn't loud. It was steady. It was warm. It was the sound of protection. It was his own, perfect, special lullaby. Willow the mouse smiled, closed his eyes, and finally, easily, drifted into the deepest, warmest sleep.
And so our story ends. If you enjoyed this tale, please give it a thumbs up, and for more stories, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, may your dreams be full of adventure. Welcome, dear dreamers, to the world of stories, a place where kings sail the seas, mice befriend lions, and every page sparkles with magic. Before we begin today's adventure, let's sprinkle a little magic together. Tap subscribe, give a like, and share these stories so the wonder never ends.
Long ago, in a quiet village, there lived a poor man. His hands were rough from endless labor, and his back bent under the weight of daily struggles. Whatever little he had, he shared with his family and anyone in need, always dreaming of a brighter future for his children. One hot, dusty morning, as he rested under an ancient tree, something extraordinary happened. A single piece of paper drifted from the sky, landing at his feet. Curious, he picked it up. On the paper, in bold letters, were the words, "The secret to riches." Beneath the words was a map. His heart raced. Could this be fate? With trembling hands, he followed it through forests and over hills, until he reached a quiet riverbank. There, in a shimmer of golden light, appeared a fairy radiant, graceful, her voice like a song carried by the wind. The poor man, overwhelmed, could only nod. She smiled softly. Deep beneath this riverbank lies a chest of gold. No one has ever reached it, for it is buried far, far below the earth. If your heart is strong and your hands tireless, it shall be yours. But remember, true wealth lies not in keeping, but in sharing. And with that, the fairy vanished like mist in the morning sunday. The man did not waste a moment. The man grabbed his shovel and began to dig. Day and night, under sun and moon, he toiled relentlessly. His hands blistered, his body aching, but he never gave up. At last, his shovel hit something solid. With trembling hands, he unearthed a chest of gold. Tears filled his eyes. He had done it. With the newfound wealth, he educated his children, giving them the future he had once only dreamed of. But he did not stop there. Remembering the fairy's words, he shared his fortune, feeding the hungry, clothing the poor, and helping those who had nothing. And so, his riches never diminished. Instead, his life was filled with blessings far greater than gold, love, respect, and prayers from every heart he touched. True wealth is not just what we keep for ourselves, but what we share with others. For when you give, your blessings multiply.
And so our story ends. If you enjoyed this tale, please give it a thumbs up, and for more stories, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, may your dreams be full of adventure. Welcome, dear dreamers, to the world of stories, a place where kings sail the seas, mice befriend lions, and every page sparkles with magic. Before we begin today's adventure, let's sprinkle a little magic together. Tap subscribe, give a like, and share these stories so the wonder never ends.
In the sunny town of Greendale, children ran and played in the park. Lily sat on a bench, cola in one hand, candy wrappers scattered around her. She watched them, wishing she could join. But suddenly, her stomach ached. Each sweet bite had promised energy, but instead left her heavy, slow, and tired. She slowly walked toward the well, every step feeling heavier. She sat down on its edge, her energy gone, replaced by sluggishness and discomfort. The treats she loved had drained her strength. Just then, a soft glow appeared. An old woman stepped forward and handed Lily a small pot filled with glowing, magical seeds. "These are not just normal seeds," the woman said gently. "They are the seeds of your own strength. The energy you seek is hidden in the foods that nourish you, not the treats that drain you. Each day, plant one color. When you eat a food of that color, the seed will disappear, and your body will grow strong, just like a sprout reaching for the sundae." Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. She thanked the old woman and took the magical seed pot home. In her kitchen, Lily set to work, creating a chart and pasting it on the fridge. It had 7 rows for the days of the week and 7 columns for the colors of the rainbow. Each day, she focused on one color, eating foods of that hue to make the magical seed disappear. Sunday. Red. Strawberries. Apples. Tomatoes. Monday. Orange. Carrots. Oranges. Sweet potatoes. Tuesday. Yellow. Bananas. Corn. Bell peppers. Wednesday. Green. Spinach. Broccoli. Leafy greens. Thursday. Blue. Blueberries. Grapes. Friday. Indigo. Plums. Blackberries. Saturday. Violet. Eggplants. Purple cabbage. The next morning, she sprinkled strawberries and apples onto her oatmeal, planting her first red seed. As she ate, the red seed from the vanished, and a small wave of energy lifted her spirits. Monday at lunch, she added orange carrots and sweet potatoes, watching the orange seed disappear. By the end of the week, every seed had gone, and Lily felt lighter, stronger, and full of life. Day by day, she embraced the rainbow golden bananas, vibrant salads, sparkling smoothies, purple grapes,